Okay, hey everybody, it's Stereo Police. Back with part 2 of the kit. And for this part, it is simply going to be what's in the box. We'll see how well packed it is, what's in there, how organized things are. Hopefully it comes with a hard copy of the instruction manual. I know I've already downloaded it, but alright. So we have an invoice from PayPal. Wow. So, nice foam. Looks very well packed. Alright, so we have this one box here for the heat sinks. It's got a revision number on it. We have another box here for the electronics. Very well packed. Oh, this is heavy. Gotta be the transformer, right? Alright, so toroidal power transformer. 250 VA. Wow, that's a heavy booger right there. Okay, got some nice good thick foam here. And we have the enclosure, the box, the case, whatever you want to call it. And go ahead and, there's nothing else in there. Go ahead and put that down and take a look at the enclosure. Alright, that appears to be the bottom, and it is. Oh, there's some stuff in there. Alright, so make sure I'm getting this on camera here. So here is the enclosure. There's no switch. It's got to be put in. And like I say, there's some stuff inside of it. And it looks like I'll have to do some unscrewing to get to it. And looks like this top panel right here comes off. That's probably going to do the trick. So what I'll do, we'll start there. I'll get a screwdriver and hit pause so I don't have to watch that, and we'll come right back. Alright, so there were this is the rear right here. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 screws. And it looks like it's got a lip that goes under the... Oh, I missed 2 screws. Look at that. See that? They were blended in so well with the black anodized coating that I didn't even see them, but yeah, there's a little lip that goes under the faceplate, and now lifts right off like a charm. And I'll set that in a safe place. There's the back panel, speaker binding posts, RCA input jacks, power receptacle. And that's what the inside looks like. And let's set this aside for the time being. And I'll bring the toroidal transformer out. Looks nice. Made by, who's that? Evel Lindbergh Inc., Connecticut. Evel Lindbergh Inc. I don't know those guys. I've seen the name. I've seen the name around, but I don't know how to pronounce it. All right. So what do we have in here? Nice Ziploc bag. Got the Akitika GT-102 wiring. So this is the wiring kit, and I'm going to try to leave everything in their various kits, because I'm sure the instructions are going to refer to it, but it shouldn't be too challenging. I'll leave everything in their own little pile. This is this must be that internal partition that separates the. Kind of talked about that yesterday. It separates the power supply side of the amp from the amplifier side, and this is clearly going to be the cap for the transformer with a screw and a gasket. We have some wires. Let me make sure the camera's picking that up, and it is, yes. We've got some various wires of various gauges in here. It looks like a little heat shrink tubing, wires with pre-crimped connectors, zip tie, more wires, but be careful not to lose anything. And a couple more zip ties and more heat shrink. Alright, so that's everything in the Ziploc. And here is the power cord. Alright, very nice. So here's our wiring section. There's our, these are my, I like to keep, I've got a bunch of these bins and drawers and things. I like to keep the screws separate and in one of these things, sealed up in case it hits the floor. Trying to find these little tiny screws is a nightmare. Alright, so I'm going to keep all the packaging. Now here are these other two boxes. This is, we've already seen the enclosure and that, and then these two, the only two remaining. And let's just get a peek as to what's in these boxes. So far, really nice, well packed, very neat, organized, very professional. I just get the sense that Dan, the designer, I assume he's the owner. Maybe that's a bad assumption. I'll have to find out. I haven't spoken with him really since the initial email thanking me for the purchase, but if he's the owner, I get a sense that he really cares about his product. Alright, so here are the heat sinks. There should be 3 of them. And there are 3 heat sinks, 1 large one, 2 small ones. These 2 small ones are no doubt going to be for the amplifiers, and that large one would probably be for bypass transistor, the regulator transistor, the MOSFET in the power supply. Okay, so here's the electronics box. Oh, nice, a lot of nice little baggies in here. I'm not going to open all these up because these things I'll open up when needed because you can see through and you know what's in here. And these have specific applications. This one says top level hardware. Got a revision number. Keeping things organized. This is power supply, capacitors, and somewhere in there, there's that MOSFET right there, the past transistor. And we have ground lifter. So the various circuits are separate, and the parts are placed in separate baggies. Very well organized. Very well organized. This one is the amplifier module. I guess there's going to be two of these. And there's the LM 3886. Let's get a look at that. It's got its own little, there's a screw for it, and it's got its own little package so that the leads don't get bent. You don't want those leads to get bent. Keep these things sealed. And there's two amplifiers, one for each channel, so there's another baggie right there. And last but not least, the circuit boards. The various circuit boards. Probably three of them, right? One of them is going to be for the power supply, and then two of them, one for each amplifier. Very nice. It says right on there, Akitika LLC, copyright 2017, revision B, GT-102 amp. Very well done, very nice. Alright, I'm going to keep these sealed up until the instructions. So it did not come with, here's the power supply circuit board. Got a name on there, D Joffe. D-J-O-F-F-E. Is that Dan? Joffe? I'm sorry if I'm so bad at pronouncing things in general. Copyright 2018, revision C. Very, very nice. Okay, so there are the circuit boards. So very well laid out. You are looking at essentially everything in the kit except for the enclosure, which I set aside. We already looked at that. And no, it did not come with. Here's the enclosure, by the way. It did not come with the instructions. That, you know, you have to print those out yourself online, and I fully understand. As I mentioned in the previous video, you get a lot of good stuff here. You get a lot of stuff for an extraordinarily reasonable price. So I can understand having to print your own. Plus, you can make revisions to the instruction manual online. You always get the latest revision if he finds tweaks and errors or better ways of doing things. So the back of the enclosure says revision A001. So, hey, this is great. Having all this laid out here, I'm ready to roll, really. And this is going to be, I'm getting more excited by the minute here, actually wanting to get started. It's really, there's going to be a few things to solder here. I mean, but yeah, that's going to take a little time. You got to have extreme patience soldering. There's no doubt about it. You just got to take your time. You cannot rush through that process. I'm sure there are professionals that do it on a daily basis for a living that are just, just whiz bang at it, but not for me. I haven't done it other than making miscellaneous repairs here and there on things. I haven't soldered, extensively like this for many years, and even when I did, I never considered myself that good at it. So I'm sure that my first few solder joints are not going to be as good as my last few. It's like anything. So, I like that transformer. Wow, that thing is heavy. It's heavier than it looks, believe me. Usually the transformer is the heaviest component anyway inside of the heaviest single component inside of any amplifier. Not that weight has anything to do with anything, I'm just commenting. So, that's what's in the box. And so far it's impressive. Looking forward to getting going on this. And I think what I want to do next, before starting the assembly process, is I wanted to make a video just covering the basic operating, I don't know, for lack of a better word, operating principle with respect to the power supply, well, the overall amp, how it's laid out, kind of block diagram form, and how it functions. And I particularly wanted to cover very briefly on the amp chip itself. That's pretty straightforward. But I wanted to cover the power supply in a little bit more detail, and just kind of go over the pros and cons of regulated power supplies and what all that means. Sometimes I like to, during videos, stop and discuss one or two elements in a little more detail, just because I find it interesting, and I think that some of the viewers, from some of the comments that I've gotten, that people find those little diversions interesting. So I think I'll do that in the next video. This is going to be a short one. This particular video is just the unboxing. And so far I'm impressed, I'm happy, I'm thrilled, looks great. Everything's well laid out, it was well packed. I couldn't ask for anything more, really. Again, especially, I'm not going to say this a lot, but I'll say it again, at this price point, it's very, very impressive. No doubt about it. And I don't have a printed copy of the instruction manual. I haven't printed it out yet. It's going to take a bit of paper. But I'm going to have a hard copy, because there's nothing better for me than having a hard copy and making notes and checking things off as you go and that sort of thing. But A-okay so far. So this will conclude part 2, a quickie. Let me take this camera off. Again, the enclosure. Wires, heat sinks, and parts. And I'll be back with part 3 to talk about the design. Maybe I'll sort of do 2 things at the same time, because I really want to get started building this, honestly. I'll have to go print that instruction manual out. So anyway, until next time, ciao.